It is another Throwback Thursday. Joining us is Lily Kent with the Locally Podcast.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for being here.
You know, we are throwing it back to something only 20 years ago, which is enough to make history, but it's not that far, not that long ago. And it is actually something that I lived in Sioux Falls when this happened. And so it is something that I vaguely remember, but people definitely remember this event. So yesterday was the 20th anniversary of a Sioux Falls landmark being demolished and it not really going as planned. This is about the Zip Feed Mill. So the Zip Feed Mill was this 202-foot tall building in downtown Sioux Falls, which was the tallest building in South Dakota at the time, which is kind of a big deal, right? And you could see this from all over Sioux Falls. It was built in 1957 and it would last for about 50 years and then it would become obsolete. It was built in a Illinois Central freight depot, and so it's really close to the Illinois Central Depot, which still stands today. That building is made out of Sioux quartzite, and it's made it through several redevelopments of the East Bank of downtown Sioux Falls. The Zip Feed Mill lasts again for about 50 years before becoming obsolete, and then the whole area was going to be redeveloped, and this was going to take a lot of time and effort to remove this 202-foot concrete building. So they hire a couple different companies that come up with a plan, and the plan is to kind of cut it down like a tree. They're going to go in, they're going to take out these big cement supports that are like 3 feet thick and hundreds of feet tall. They take out a couple of those. They put in explosives on the outside of the building, but then on the inside too. And the whole thought process was to blow out this notch that would then help the building fall into itself a little bit and then topple over. That was the plan. Great plan. Love it. And you know, scientifically, like, this works. Like, the people have been cutting trees down like that for a long time. You take a little notch out and then it falls right where you want it to. However, if you've ever watched any shows about people cutting down trees, you can see that that doesn't always go to plan either. And that's kind of what happened here. So December 3rd, it was 12:55 in the afternoon. Hundreds of people were gathered downtown in various different locations. People were watching. It was kind of an event. It was definitely an event. And so 3, 2, 1, boom, and then nothing. The building ends up falling about 40 feet into itself and slightly tilting. Not falling. Dun, dun, dun. And this kind of creates this national news story, and it also creates kind of like an inside joke here in Sioux Falls about like the Leaning Tower of Zip Feed and all of these things where people definitely do that picture that they do at the Leaning Tower of Pisa where they're like holding up the building. And so it was one of those, but people were also a little embarrassed. And then of course it still needed to be raised. Like, how are we now going to get rid of this building that is now not structurally sound, huge, and in the way? They had to put up a fence around it and keep everybody away from it because it's so dangerous. And they had to come in like a wrecking ball and really just take it apart piece by piece over the next several weeks. And it would be the end of December in 2005 before that actually got completed. And so it took a really long time. Something that was going to take a minute took weeks. And then the redevelopment of the area went forward after that. It is now where Sharapa Place is. And now we're talking about 20 years later. I like to call it Sharapa City because so many more buildings have been added. There's, you know, apartments, there's restaurants, there's parking, there's tons of things in that area. It's its own little city. And that's all possible because of the Zip Feed building being removed.
Wow. So interesting.
It is. Yeah.
So I bet it was just such a buzz back then.
Totally. And like I said, and people today, they definitely have memories of it, and they definitely either have like they're either think it's a little funny or they're maybe a little miffed about it still.
Maybe, yeah.
It's kind of fascinating to look at the comments online. It's like, okay.
Okay. Do you have a podcast on
I
this?
do,
You
yes.
Okay.
There's a new one out today that talks about the 20th anniversary of the Zip Feed Mill.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for
Yes,
being here.
thank you.
And stick around. We have more after the break.